sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I hope everybody is having a good day, a great day, a blessed day. I'm glad to be going live right now. My mic is on, I believe it's on, but I'm glad to be going live right now. Try to mix things up, get my mind off of a lot of things that have transpired over the last 48 hours. I didn't go live yesterday, obviously. Just felt like it was a day where I wanted to take for myself and my family and hug on to the babies a little extra tight, y'all. It's that simple, no other explanation. And also just wanted to decompress and, honestly, continue to monitor the situation with Damar Hamlin. So before we get started, just want to give you all an update on what I know to be going on in that situation. Just recently, as of this morning, there was some good news about Damar Hamlin's health. Doctors basically, they had hoped to see certain things overnight, and those things they had hoped to see, they were able to see as far as his progress. So that's definitely a great thing. And I urge everybody to continue to keep the young man in your prayers. We all know the gruesome reality of life is that it goes on regardless of what happens. And that's why we're going to continue our very best to try to continue to talk Miami Dolphin football and sports today. But that doesn't mean that we have to just forget what is going on. So that's why I urge everybody continue to keep the young man in your prayers. Because at the end of the day, our prayers can be moving the needle now, but the work isn't done. So continue to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. All right. But like I said, doctors basically wanted to monitor him overnight Tuesday, and they had hoped Wednesday morning that certain things that they see, and they were able to see those things, which means that he is progressing and he's heading in the right direction. Still is in critical condition in the intensive care unit. So let them do their thing, let God do his thing, and at the end of the day, we believe that all will be well. Okay. Now I know a lot has been going on in Dolphin Nation. We're about to talk about that. We're gonna get a good stream in. Talk about a lot of things that's been going on in the last 24 hours. A lot of people hitting me up about. So this is the opportunity. This is the time we will discuss it. Before we do, just want you to keep in mind that this stream is being brought to you by Mojo Sports, ladies and gentlemen. Mojo Sports, the player stock market. It's your opportunity to invest in players' long-term futures, whether they're going to succeed, not succeed, whatever you think. I always, like I said, I call it the player stock market. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. Now, remember, if you're in Jersey, you can invest now in Mojo. So I urge you to go ahead and make your investment in Mojo now. If you're not in Jersey, you can't invest in Mojo, but you can download the app and take a look at the stocks. And that's where I always tell you, supporting the channel is supporting our sponsors and vice versa. So it doesn't take any money from you to click on the QR code or the link in the description and download Mojo Sports so you can see the player stock market, because I know most of y'all ain't even in Jersey. So you ain't got to worry about spending any money, but you can support our sponsor, and that supports the channel. So again, this is your opportunity to do so. All those who do, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. And real quick, I just got to take a look at our boy Tua Tagovailoa, man. We were so proud. He got over $40, was at 42, and he is just falling. He is just falling and falling and falling. Ugh. Look at this. Look at this. And this is his future projection, y'all. This is what they, people taking their money out of him. They just don't believe in him anymore. Why don't they believe in Tua Tagovailoa anymore? Well, the answer is simple, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to answer that for you real quick. At the end of the day, I know it's an old cliche, but it's something. Your best ability is availability. And at this point, Tua just can't catch a break. No matter what it has been in his career, he's not available for his team. Now, the worst type of not being available for your team is the sporadic unavailability. Like, it's one thing if your knee's blown and you keep having issues with your knee. At least you know what it is. But with Tua, he can't catch a break. It's the hip, it's the hand, it's the ribs, it's the concussion. It's you just can't put your finger on it. And on top of that, it's not like his level of play is at a consistent level where you can get behind it anyway on a consistent basis. It's one thing to have good play, but you're not even consistent in that. TD, what are the odds that Wilkins is moved? Michael, I believe that's all going to depend on who the quarterback is. Christian Wilkins' odds of being moved is all going to depend on who the quarterback is next year. If it's Tua, his odds of being moving are really slim. If it's a veteran quarterback, it depends on if you needed to trade for him or not. If you had to trade for the quarterback, still maybe slim. If you're trying to move up in the draft and get a quarterback, Wilkins out of here. It's that simple. So it depends on the quarterback. That's what it's going to depend on. Now, I know you see the title of the stream, Miami Dolphins brass on hot seat. Can Skylar beat the Jets? We're going to talk about that. We're going to start out with the hot seat conversation. Jose said if Mike McDaniel gets fired, Tua will be out of here. I agree. But we're going to talk about the brass on the hot seat. There was a report that came out. I saw it on Twitter. Some people shared it with me. The FinStalk Sports Network posted this. They had it per Armando Salguero. Basically saying that if the Dolphins win their season finale and sneak into the playoffs, owner Stephen Ross might look the other way on those 5 consecutive December-January losses because it will feel more like a skid than a collapse. And then they go on to say, but if the Dolphins go from 8-3 to 8-9 and not in the playoffs, everybody's job is at risk. First of all, in my opinion, this is a speculative article. This isn't nothing that comes from a source that basically says these are what Stephen Ross has said or what he believes. So I don't think that this article is something we can take for face value. Even if you get a name like Armando Salguero, I believe this is his opinion. But I do want to talk about it because I somewhat agree with it. The one thing that has been very hard for us to predict, I guess is the best word to use. One of the hardest things to predict is Stephen Ross. You know, I've been doing this for 5 years now, and I've been pretty spot on with a lot of things. But the one person who's very hard to predict is Stephen Ross. And all you have is the things he's said of the past and the data around you to make educated guesses. And a lot of people saying, you think Stephen Ross is going to fire Mike McDaniel after 1 year? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what world you live in, but when you're dealing with billionaires and you're dealing with people who want results, there ain't no time frame of when you can fire someone. There ain't no, well, you got to give them at least 2 years. There ain't no such thing. As an owner who's an older individual who told you he wants to win now before he leaves this earth, there ain't no timeline on anybody. There ain't no such thing as a timeline. This narrative is general thinking. Mike McDaniel could fire that entire front office if he wanted to. He already got all the benefits from bringing in, I ain't making this racial, but real talk. He already got all the benefits for all the hires in the front office. Miami Dolphins have one of the most loaded front offices with minorities. And he's already cashed in on those compensatory picks and all of that from every single one of them. Not saying that was his motive, so please don't get that misconstrued. But there ain't no benefit of keeping nobody around. At what point as Dolphin fans are we going to keep it a buck ourselves and realize this is an utter failure? Ladies and gentlemen, if we get in the playoffs and we back in, it's still an utter failure unless you go miraculously win a Super Bowl. This is a failure. We have officially failed. We got 8 wins with 1 week left, and we're trying our very best to match Brian Flores' win total at 9. Because nobody counts the first year where we stripped the whole roster. We're talking about the other 2 years when we won 10 games and then 9 games. We out here talk about winning a last game so that we could just match the predecessor, the one that was supposedly the issue of why we couldn't get over the hump, why our quarterback struggled and why our quarterback couldn't get us over the top, that guy. We failed. And the truth of the matter is, who's responsible for the failure? Chris Grier. Because Stephen Ross sided with Chris Grier over Brian Flores to begin with. And I'm not going to say not rightfully so. We knew that was going to come because Brian Flores didn't want to do what the owner wanted to do anyway, which was tank. So the favor was going to be on Chris Grier anyway. Another reason why Brian Flores is out of here. But now that you look forward, the owner has to say, I was wrong. That's one thing I'll tell you about wealthy people and billionaires. People think that they always want to be right. No, when they recognize they were wrong, they don't stay on the side of the wrong, because if they stay on the side of wrong, they go broke. They get on the right side right away. Stephen Ross is the type of person that will look himself in the mirror and say, I was wrong. I need to get rid of all these cats. I got this wrong. I choose this way and it wasn't the right way. Let me get off of it now. I'm finna keep on wasting money and losing money behind these scrubs. That's how it works. That's how it works. CD Tua just needs to be moved, period. Sometimes you just need to break up with your girlfriend and stop trying to make it work. We'll talk about that, man. Ross is salivating over Harbaugh. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is what I'm trying to caution y'all of. That's the one guy you cannot. He's the one guy you cannot try to assume what he's thinking. Even though we try anyway. We try anyway. Tyrone said, TD, please pray. Look at the Brock Purdy interview about the Miami Dolphins. He wears 13 because of Dan Marino. Says he wants to play for Dolphins all his life. Go get him ASAP. I know. I saw that interview. I saw the interview. I said, wow, we actually got somebody who wanted to play for the Dolphins his entire life. He wanted to play for the Dolphins his entire life. Where's number 13 because of Marino? That's just funny to me. But I don't think San Francisco's going to let that man go. He's going to go on a playoff run, and if it's successful, they may move on with Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen. That's neither here nor there, okay? I don't know. Yeah, I know his father's a Dolphin fan, too. He was born and raised Dolphin fans. Let me get back to it, man, because, hey, it's wishful thinking, but, you never know. You never know. We'll talk about it, okay? But real talk, Stephen Ross ain't playing around. Stephen Ross wants a winner. He's not finna go through this cycle of trash. And let me tell you why. This man is, like, I keep on bringing up the fact that he's a billionaire. Let me tell you something about billionaires. People need to stop acting like billionaires some of them are idiots. If you are a billionaire, there is a level of intelligence to you that most people don't get. These people aren't idiots, man. They're not. They tend to be the smartest people in the room. They just don't say much because they observe how stupid others are sometimes. It's that simple. And they're about accountability more than anybody because they're the boss. Everybody gets held accountable. Everyone. And when you look at what happened to the Miami Dolphins this year, somebody has to be held accountable, and it's not just Josh Boyer. You think Stephen Ross is like, well, you fire Boyer and it's all good? No. She just talking. Oh, you want to come hang out? Come on. Got to put them hand mittens on. Saw that thumb go in her mouth once. Said, no. Carter got stuck with that thumb in his mouth, and we let him, and it ain't good. So we trying to stop her. But anyway, this ain't no situation where he's like, all right, y'all fire Boyer. Let's see what we do next year. No, because almost every game we lost had nothing to really do with the defense. 80% of the games we lost was pretty much offensively. And I'm exhausted, y'all. I'm exhausted in the sense that I try my very best to say, to not say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. Instead, I say, I tried to tell you. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. Man, do y'all realize when you go back year after year after year, all the arguing that took place and how many of these people were just wrong? How many of them were just wrong? How wrong these people were. How much hate was created even towards me because some people just couldn't see the truth. It's ridiculous. But I will say this. There is a level of all of this unknowing that does excite me. I'm not saying I want to go out there and lose on Sunday. I'm not saying that at all. But I want a new coach and I want a new quarterback. And at this point, I do want a new general manager. I do want a new general manager. It's a wrap. I'm not a Greer fan. I'm not sold on Greer. I just admire the fact that he operates like a cat and creates 9 lives every chance he get. But Greer has to go because he was choosing over Brian Flores. They couldn't work well together. Somebody commented, thought you said we'll stick with McDaniel, and I still believe we will. But remember why I said we will. Because you cannot expect the Miami Dolphins to do the right thing. And that's why I believe Mike McDaniel will be back. But at the same token, I've been giving Mike McDaniel a slight pass. I think y'all noticed that I've really been giving him a pass. I told y'all I actually like him. I got to be honest with you. As I've sat back for the last 24 hours, I'm starting to dislike him more and more for the simple fact of I'm just being optimistic about him. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sitting here acting like a Mike McDaniel McDaniel or whatever. Just hoping he's a good coach and blah, blah, blah. But I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the man doesn't have anything to show for his first year. He doesn't. People think that he improved Tua Tagovailoa. No. Yeah, lady, man, I wish y'all could just go back and study last year's offense. Was Tua Tagovailoa not operating at a high completion percentage last year too? Do you remember that? But remember, it fell in the Tennessee game drastically. I understand we're getting more production, more yards, but that's only because Flores was smart enough, since we couldn't run the ball, to make the run game an extension, the pass game an extension of the run. He made Tua become the run game. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think Tua has a higher completion percentage under Brian Flores last year or Mike McDaniel this year? Put it in the comment section. Who does he have a higher completion percentage with? Flores last year or McDaniel this year? The sad thing is the answer is Flores, and shockingly is not even close. A full 3 basis points. Tua Tagovailoa actually has a much worse completion percentage this year. 3 basis points is huge. You go from 68 pretty much with Flores to 65. 64.8 to be exact. Why was he more efficient with Brian Flores? Because Flores did not have a run game, and Flores said, you know what? Tua's going to be our run game and our pass game. Quick hitters, quick. That was the offense. Because when Flores wanted to open it up and when Flores wanted Tua to hit the crosses across the middle, he was garbage. Overthrow, underthrow, just didn't throw it all when it wide open. We went over the all 22 last year every game, and about 8 to 12 times on every film study, we saw wide open people that Tua would not even throw the ball to. These are facts. Now, what did McDaniel come in and do this year? Man, I don't even want you looking at the short game. I want you looking straight in the middle of the field because I'm sending everybody that way, and I need you to throw the ball. And that's what he did. And he racked up yards. But the only reason is because now McDaniel didn't have Tua have to worry about the run game. McDaniel didn't have to worry about letting Tua handle the run game. Flores knew he had no run game, knew he didn't have an O-line to run the ball, so he created that scheme. So McDaniel didn't have to worry about that this year, so it was just pass for Tua. But let me ask y'all if y'all noticed something. In these games that we lost, and y'all keep wondering why on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 3rd and blah, 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 we keep throwing with Tua, right? McDaniel, all he was doing was trying to do the Flores thing, but you done already got Tua out of that rhythm. All you were doing was trying to be an extension of the run with the quick pass, just like Flores had it when Flores had it working. But you couldn't. So McDaniel, I keep on searching what has he done this year. As a head coach, you're responsible for the whole team. You've done nothing on the defensive side of the ball whatsoever. I know it ain't your strong suit, so it is what it is. I'm not giving you a pass because you're still responsible for it, just like Flores was responsible for the offense. So your defense fell off this year, took a step back. I understand injuries, but Flores had less playing better. I remember that Flores rookie coaching year with Nick Needham and all them guys that were no-name guys. The last 7 games of the season, Flores had that defense balling. We were shocked. We didn't think we would win a game that year. But Flores had that defense balling. Whole bunch of no-names. Nobody on the defensive line, all of that mess. Whole bunch. Y'all remember that? Flores' first year as coach? Rosen, Fitzpatrick era? How the defense, because Xavier Howard was hurt. The defense was led by players like Nick Needham. Had them balling. Had them out there making plays, keeping us in games, and we actually start winning. We're like, what? Defense fell off this year. And he got to own that. Then when you go on the offensive side of the ball, I'm sorry. The O-line played better because of Connor Williams and Teron Armstead and Robert Hunt. You paid for it to play better. You didn't coach it better because we all already knew what Robert Hunt was. We knew that Connor was a great talent. He just he was a penalty case. Thank God we put him at center because he can't make as many penalties at center. You ain't going to get as many false starts when you at center. You the one that got to snap the ball. That was the one genius thing I think he did. You ain't going to get as many false starts if you the one snapping the ball. And Armstead did his thing. But the two areas we didn't spend the money on, they still a train wreck and we ain't got no answer. Left guard and right tackle. So we did nothing to the O-line. The O-line didn't improve. We just spent money on it to improve. Yeah, you got high snaps, but it was still manageable this year. A few errors that cost us, but it was manageable. But all I'm saying is, what work did they do to the O-line other than put money on it? Still ain't developed a single offensive lineman. Austin Jackson still ain't play as well as he did his rookie year before he got hurt. Ain't been the same since. Everybody you put at guard, I can bury everybody. You miss me with that. You may have one game good out of 5, but I'm sorry. This run game ran the ball well in 4 games against 4 of the worst rushing defenses. And people think we got a run game. No, we don't. I'm sorry. What have you done? And the biggest debacle this year, you spent money on the wide receiving core, obviously, and you're not even using them. Only Tyreek being used. But the biggest debacle this year, okay. This is why Greer and McDaniel got to go. Y'all know the number one. It probably ain't the number one reason, but for this stream, it's the number one reason in my head right now. Number one reason Greer and McDaniel got to go, Mike Gesicki. You mean to tell me, look how this work, y'all. Look how this work. Matter of fact, let me pull this up. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me put Mike Gesicki. Gesicki franchise tag. Let me pull this up real quick. All right. Here's what bothers me. You gave him $11 million on the tag, right? When did we hire Mike McDaniel? Mike McDaniel hired. Watch this. This is what bothers me. Around February 6th, somewhere around there. Now watch this. A month and a half after you were hired, they franchise tag Mike Gesicki. Now watch this. You got hired. When you get hired, I'm sure you come in the building, you give your vision of the team, the type of personnel you want, the type of personnel you need, and how you can maximize them all. What in the heck happened in the meeting where y'all had to make a decision to franchise tag Mike Gesicki? When you franchise tagged him for $11 million, what were y'all saying in that meeting that said, let's go ahead and do it? Were you saying, yeah, I believe he's worth the 11. We're going to have him be our Travis Kelce or our Greg Kittle? Like, what was it? Where was the justification? Because that conversation had to be had. You had to talk about what you believed you can do or get out of him or him to become. You had to. And that leads me to believe you believe that you were going to have that next future guy to be given that kind of money. Therefore, if you believe that, you failed. You failed. Well, if I said the wrong name, y'all knew what I meant. You failed. It's that simple. You failed. Yeah, George. What did I say? I don't know. Greg. Did I say Greg? My bad. You failed. Whatever you thought you were going to create, you failed. And it cost $11 million franchise tag. And here's the add insult to injury. At the same time that you tagged him, the same week you go trade for Tyreek Hill. The same week you go trade for Tyreek Hill. And when you traded for Tyreek Hill, you had to know what the usage was going to be. Because Tyreek Hill had a dissatisfaction in Kansas City. He felt like he was being underutilized. And for the record, ladies and gentlemen, Tyreek Hill wasn't being underutilized in Kansas City. He just knows that he could have been utilized more. There's a difference. Being underutilized is when you're losing games, we're missing opportunities, we're not doing well as an offense, when you're not looking for me. But that offense was doing just fine and he was getting his share. He knew he was capable of getting more than his share. And that's what Tyreek wanted. He didn't want to just be a part of an offense and be great. He wanted to be the offense and be great. And what did the Dolphins do? We gonna trade for you. We don't have a problem with you being the offense and being great. And what did he come do? He became the offense and became great. But what are the ramifications for that? What are the ramifications for that? No Gesicki usage. No Sherfield usage. No Cedric Wilson usage. That's what that does. You and Waddle. In most games, Waddle disappeared for 3 quarters and then catch 3 balls in 1 quarter and it's a wrap. That's game. I don't watch so many games where Waddle looked like he didn't even, like early in the season, Waddle was eating all over the place. But as of later in the season, I don't watch so many games where it's like, we done been through a whole half of football. Where's Waddle? But then he catches the big one. And then in trash time or crunch time, a few crossers here and there. Because it's been the Tyreek game. Force feed Tyreek. Force feed Tyreek. This entire offense probably ain't even operating the way it should for the simple fact that we force feed Tyreek. When Tyreek is built into our first read 70% of the time. Yeah, I said Cedric Wilson trade worse in my opinion. No, it's not Cedric Wilson. It's not Mike Gesicki. It's the offense and how they're utilized. There's no room for them because Mike McDaniel is you know what? I'm going to go out there and say it. Now I believe Mike McDaniel is a go along, get along coach. He ain't out there making decisions, real decisions. He ain't doing it all. If Tyreek come in there and be like, man, I want the ball. Get me the ball. Get it to me. Get it to me, coach. I need 15 targets a game. Mike don't do it. I am convinced at this point that Mike don't want no confrontation. He want to keep certain people happy. And if you a scrub, he don't mind acting like a coach. But when it come to Tyreek and everybody else, yeah, I'm going to get you your targets. No, be a coach and create an offense where you spread that rock around. So that everybody can eat and we'll be more balanced. We'll have defenses off their rockers. Now everybody just game planning for Tyreek and you still trying to force feed them. Then you wonder why nobody in rhythm. Sherfield should have caught that. Man, what is Gesicki doing? What if they ain't used to catching the ball? Running blank routes all day and then all of a sudden it's coming my way. They shocked. Don't get me wrong, they still supposed to be ready, but y'all get my point. Mike McDaniel is doing what Andy Reid wouldn't. And look at the results. Mike McDaniel is doing what Andy Reid wouldn't. And look at the freaking results. The only person benefiting out of all of this is who, y'all? Who the only person benefiting out of all of this? Who looked like the greatest? Who's the only one winning right now? Even though this team is losing, who is the only one winning out of all of this? It's crazy that on this entire team, there's only one guy winning right now. Because he getting $30 million a year and his stats higher than they ever been. Oh my gosh, half of this I'm putting together in my brain now and it's aggravating me bad. Because it's a reality that these are facts I'm speaking. Waddle ain't winning right now. They overlooking him. Didn't he make the Pro Bowl? He winning because he got yards per catch? No. Nobody looking at Waddle. Waddle should be up there revered just like Chase, but he ain't. Tyreek Hill is winning more than anybody on this team, even if we lose. TD, do you remember Flo's second year? They put a request to interview McDaniel to run the offense. If he got him, Flo's still here. Yeah, San Francisco turned it down. San Francisco didn't allow us to, if I'm not mistaken. It also debunks this narrative that Flores couldn't get good coaches. He was trying. Mike McDaniel is a stooge for Chris Greer and Ross. We know. We know. Oh my gosh. When you really think about it, man, Mike McDaniel was doing what Andy Reid wouldn't. And Patrick Mahomes told y'all this when Tyreek came out with those two of the most accurate quarterback, and I'd rather two over Mahomes, all that craziness. The reporters in Kansas City asked Mahomes. Tyreek felt he was underutilized. Mahomes said, well, this ain't my offense. This is Andy Reid's offense, and it always is operated this way. There's no one guy that's going to carry the offense. I don't carry it. The receivers don't carry it. At the end of the day, we distribute the ball around based off of the play that's called and the defense is there. That's how it works. We're not favoring anybody in this offense. We're not hiking the ball saying this is the guy I have to go to in this offense. Mahomes said that. Mahomes said that. And then Mahomes said so. I mean, I've never heard him complain about being underutilized or whatever, but I don't know. And then he come to Miami and say one thing I didn't like about Kansas City is I felt that I was being underutilized. There was games I only got one target, and they looked that up. It wasn't true. And what did he do in the Miami Brass? You already traded for me. Now I get whatever I want. If I get less than 10 targets a game, I got a problem. I got a problem. And we fed right into it and said, we're going to give you exactly what you want. Just make sure you catch the ball. And sure, he's catching the ball. But that's not all that it's about. TD, why have you used your favorite word yet? Trash. But that ain't my favorite word. There's nothing trash about what we're talking about. It's so disappointing. Who should call plays, McDaniel or Frank Smith? Neither of them. All of them need to go. And McDaniel, see, to me, McDaniel's not a head coach. He's an offensive coordinator at best. That's what he needs to be. An offensive coordinator. There's a reason we've been linked to Harbaugh and Brady for a while. Ross simply wants to win games. Exactly. Exactly. And let me tell y'all, I don't think Mike McDaniel is a good head coach at this point. Mike McDaniel was all hype, and we built it for him. No, we didn't build it. The two years built it. Mick Genius. Brilliant mind. He may be all those things, but that don't mean you're a great head coach. That does not mean you're a great head coach. Them two years built his celebrity up. Because he gave a boy a second chance. It's crazy to me. Offensive guru, offensive genius. Where is that guru geniusness when your quarterback start flaking out? When your quarterback start tripping, throwing picks, and act like he couldn't read nothing on the field and missing throws. Where's that genius? But nah, you ain't adjust. You just kept on going with it, thinking that it'll get better. Okay. All right. I feel like Mike McDaniel is starting to feel what Flores was feeling, but he done dug himself so deep he cannot discuss it. He cannot even express it. Getting Hill was the mistake. You force a young QB to throw it one place. Don't spend money on spots on the roster that need more help. Future ruined. And I can't knock that. I mean, but it's like you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss a talent like Tyreek, but you do that if you already got Brady. You do that if you got a guy that this is my thing too. We're not even using Tyreek the way he should be used all the way. All of these deep balls that's caught and tackled right away. Tyreek Hill should not have 8 touchdowns right now. With his yards, that man should have 14 plus touchdowns, having an MVP caliber season. And if you really look at why this man ain't in the double-digit touchdowns yet, Tua all day. Tua all day. All these deep balls, he got to stop, slow down, jump in the air to catch and get tackled versus thrown on the run.
The man should have, at a minimum, have 6 more touchdowns this year. People get so excited about the 45-yard big play, but don't realize it should have been a touchdown. Yeah, you can't be happy with nothing. You just went 0-5. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. I don't want to hear it. All these, you're so negative. You just went 0-5. Shut your mouth. Gosh, you can't be happy about a successful season. We're 8-3 and you still can't be happy? We 8-8. Shut your mouth. Don't get mad at me because I saw it before you. Get mad at me because I could see it before you because I'm actually analyzing the situation and you out here fanboying or fangirling or fanbaying or whatever you want to identify as. Gosh. Let me keep going, man. TD, why are you so critical of a first-year head coach? Oh my gosh. Why am I so critical of a first-year head coach? Are you serious? Tell that to them over in Denver. Tell that to them over in Denver. Talk about why am I so critical of a first-year head coach? Let's get something straight here. You tell me what head coach inherits this type of talent. What first-year head coach inherits this type of team and this type of talent? Please tell me when the last time you remember a first-year head coach inheriting this type of team and this type of talent. You know why GMs don't do that? Because they go get a veteran coach because you already know that they need a coach that done been there and done that, or you're wasting all of those players' time. And in the rare case that you go do it, you need results right away because you have everything. Adam Gase went to the playoffs with less. So don't tell me nothing about no first-year head coach. A first-year head coach you go through a rebuild with. There ain't no expectations the first year. There barely any the second year. Third year, let's just have a winning season. We ain't asked you to win a Super Bowl. But when you inherit all this talent, if you're going to use that first-year head coach excuse, then you are wasting every player, all these big money players' time. Basically, what you're saying is, if McDaniel failed, it was his first year, so it's okay. Nobody had that expectation going in, so don't make it one now. Because you fired a coach who had 3 times less than what you got in important positions. There was a rookie coach who actually was going through the process. First year, no expectations. Second year, really ain't no expectations there, but you won 10 games. The next year, no, I don't want to hear it. Mike McDaniel, they brought you in, thought that you were on that level already, and they were wrong. Flores somewhere rubbing his hands together like Birdman, LOL. Yeah, but it's unfortunate, though. It's unfortunate. It's truly unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. See, when you make a bad decision in the NFL, it costs people their jobs. Harbaugh and Brady would be great. We know it. We know it. You notice that every team that currently in the playoffs, their backup won at least one game, and their team is ranked in the top 10. Yeah, coach. That's a reflection of their coach. That's a reflection of their coach. And now they got to go into this last game, and they got to hope Skylar save all their future. Chris Greer, you better hope Skylar save your future. Mike McDaniel, you better hope Skylar save your future. And a matter of fact, Tua Tagovailoa, you probably need to hope Skylar save your future. Because if Skylar lose this game, all y'all have a potential of being gone. If we go 8-9 and miss the playoffs, all three of them, Boyer, all four of them, Boyer, McDaniel, Greer, and Tua might be gone. TD, seems like you have all the answers. Why don't you start coaching? Because I don't have to. I don't like answering to other people. I like being my own boss. I like making my own decisions. And I like sitting back talking about the good or the bad decisions you make. And at the end of the day, we grade it as we go. We evaluate it and we judge it as we go. But I tell you one thing, I don't know if you meant that seriously or you meant it facetiously. But what I will tell you, as I'm sitting here in my parents' basement, you know, that's what people like to say, some guy in his parents' basement. As I'm sitting here in my parents' basement, Monday morning quarterbacking and all of that stuff, if you follow this channel long enough, I've done told y'all the decisions we made that are going to be good and the ones we made that are going to be bad. And as time has gone on, I'm going to take a guess, I'm about 90% right on almost everything I've said. And this ain't a one-up moment, I'm always right. No, I just evaluate things the way they are. I don't put emotion into it like most people do. And what makes the most logical sense? What makes the most logical sense? Common sense ain't common at all. But I got it. I don't care what y'all say. I got it. I got common sense. Hey, mama. You just woke up. You're like, hey, daddy. I didn't expect to wake up looking at you. Oh, I have to get you something. Your nose a little runny right here. You okay? Oh, you tired, huh? All right, well, we'll hang out then. But yeah, man, anywho, Mike McDaniel should have had his team better prepared for these games where Tua didn't play. And part of his problem was he never had the backup to the backup prepared. He never had the backup of the backup prepared. When you really look at what we went through, Tua was ready for that game, but he didn't have Teddy ready to come in and perform. And Teddy actually came and did a great job, but he made a mistake. That's what backups do. Ain't no backup perfect. Purdy done threw a pick. Then the next game, Teddy played one play versus the Jets. You ain't have Skylar ready. You just threw him out there. And admitted in your presser, didn't have any preparation. Then Skylar ready to start versus Minnesota. Came out there lighting them up. Got hurt, didn't have Teddy ready. And he lit him up too. but made mistakes, and there were some errors at the end where that were really on Waddle. Last week, Green Bay, Teddy coming out there, had them ready. It wasn't Green Bay. Who was it? Patriots. Teddy, in my opinion, looked fine until that pick six. They all do it. Skylar wasn't ready for the rest. Now, hopefully, Skylar can play the whole game versus the Jets and get his redemption. But you want to know what I'm more concerned about? This is speculation. I always tell you when I'm speculating so you don't get mad like I'm trying to lie on somebody. But this is my speculation for all my haters. I always tell you when I'm speculating so you don't get mad, even though you do anyway. I personally feel like Mike McDaniel puts a sense of urgency on Teron Armstead playing with Tua and not the backups. When Tua's in line and when Tua's ready to play and Armstead hurt, I always hear in the press conference, Teron knows how important it is for things to move with him out there. He knows we're going to need him. When Tua ain't playing, I don't hear none of that. I hear we day to day, Teron, if he can go, he will. If he can, he can't. Speculation from TD. So don't take it as fact. But I personally feel there's more of a push for Armstead to play when Tua plays and not so much when these other guys play. These guys ain't played with Armstead yet. Teddy nor Skylar has played with Armstead yet. And Tua hasn't played without Armstead yet. Oh, why is this thing just mirroring every time? Why is it a perfect mirror of injuries? And the only reps Tua got without Armstead is when Armstead got hurt. Tua went out there for 2 series and looked like pure garbage because the O-line was garbage. And they pulled him. All right, we got to get you out of this game. You pull the starting quarterback because Armstead wasn't out there. TD speculation. TD speculation. Not gonna lie, Tua needs to go. Can't win on or off the field, just wasting the other player's career. Man, Sloth said we might have 3 extra wins and a whole different tune if McDaniel doesn't rush such stupid plays on 4th and 1 and we just run instead or kick the field goal and take the 3, shaking my head. Sloth, I actually got to push back on that. Because as fans, we can't pick and choose when we're okay with it. Because we could have lost 3 more games had he not gone for it on 4th and 1s in our own raggedy territory. Early in the season, those early in the season games, y'all don't understand how close we were to losing at least 3 more games this year. That Baltimore game, straight collapse by Baltimore. I still don't understand. Like, if I was a Baltimore fan, that's the game this year where you're like, how did we lose? It makes it like you straight blew it. That game Dolphins weren't supposed to win. That was a straight collapse by them. Buffalo game, depleted secondary. I'm going to leave it alone. We got the W. It don't matter. Injuries are part of the game. Absolutely. Even that first Patriots game. I don't know if y'all remember that 4th and 1. Huge play in the game. Then we start taking off. The Chicago Bears. Thank God for the no call. We were poised to lose that game at the end. Thank God for the no call at the end. The biggest one that y'all wouldn't acknowledge is the Lions game, though. They scored on every drive except the last two. And why didn't they? Go look at it. Penalties. We couldn't stop the Lions offense. They scored on every drive, and finally, at the end of the game, they start making dumb mistakes. They had 3rd and 20-something on both drives. False start. Holding. Thanks to those penalties, we won. Somebody say they dropped the game-winning touchdown. Maybe, I just don't remember. And even back to that Baltimore game, screw the defensive collapse. Even when the defense collapsed, we say, even when the defense collapsed, right? Lamar Jackson, I ain't gonna lie, he blew it for him too. He got to own some of that. 2 drives in a row on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, wide open tight end, and he overthrew it on both possessions. Wide open in the 4th quarter, 5 minutes left. Wide open. Seal the game, and he blew it twice. Pittsburgh Steelers, Noah Igbenogany saves the day with a pick, and they look like they were coming down to take our soul away from us. And we were fortunate to win all of those games. The only thing I appreciate about the season is the fact that the old Dolphins, it would have been so Dolphin to lose every single one of those just the way I just mentioned. It would have been so Dolphin to lose every single one of those the way I just mentioned. Exactly the way I just mentioned it is how the old Dolphins lose every single one of them. Sometimes you need some fortune, some luck in this league too. And then when you look back and you say, how many games did we have where we actually dominated as a team? How many games did we actually dominate as a team this year? One game. The Cleveland Browns. One game. One game. McDaniel sabotaged the team to make Tua look good. He didn't try to, but indirectly, that could be true. He was chasing, and we'll talk about that in a second. I'm glad you said that. Let me read these super chats. TD, Lions didn't score the second half. Yeah, that's my point, U-Town. From my understanding, they only had 2 possessions in the second half. It was one of the lowest possession games in the NFL of the season. I think they only had 6, 7 possessions the whole game. 2 in the second half, maybe 3 at best, if I'm not mistaken. Because both teams would go all the way down this field and use like 8-minute drives. It was crazy. But as far as McDaniel trying to make Tua look good, all right, put your speculation cap on again. This one I'm gonna speculate hard because I haven't had conversations with others about it, but I really truly believe this. McDaniel is about image and likeness. McDaniel wants to be known as McGenius. He wants to be known as the great guru coach. Coaches make a living off of quarterbacks sometimes. And McDaniel saw a window and an opportunity. He didn't think it at first. McDaniel didn't think it at first. He didn't think it at all at first. He didn't think it until right around that Lions game. He felt, you know what? Somebody on TV mentioned Tua's name in MVP. I could be coach of the year if that's the case. If I got Tua most improved from the last coach didn't want him to MVP, I got to make sure that happens. And y'all wonder why we didn't run the ball when you know we should have. And he throwing the ball when there were games we were already up, game is over, and he out there throwing the ball with Tua. Y'all remember them games early? We were up, game is over, let's go seal the deal, run the ball, and we out there play action. Throwing with Tua. Right there, I was like, this that stat pad now. Somebody say you think so. When you got 2 minutes left in the game and you winning and you can seal it and you still out there throwing the ball, what you mean? Because think about if Tua was the winner MVP. How does that look on McDaniel? Adam Gase lived off of it. What did we say when we got Adam Gase? What was the main thing on his resume? What was the main thing on Adam Gase's resume, y'all? Lived off of somebody that was already great. That's all they wanted to talk about with Adam Gase. Quarterback guru, the quarterback whisperer. Y'all forgot? That was the title for Adam Gase. He was the quarterback guru. He was the quarterback whisperer. Did y'all forget that? This is the guy that worked with Peyton Manning and made him what he was. Y'all forgot? And you get one quarterback to look great under you, it's going to carry your coaching career for years. Even if you get fired, somebody going to bring you in. Somebody going to bring you to work with the guy. It's that safety net coaches want. If I don't make it as a head coach, I at least want to be known as this. So I'll always have a job as a you bring me in, I can fix this. I can always at a minimum get a coordinator job just because I'm a high priority. They got to bring me in at least for this. And the most frustrating thing for me individually, I got to be honest with y'all. This is what was frustrating for me all year. I have no clue how Tua Tagovailoa entered the MVP conversation to begin with. Like, I start hearing that chatter. I was like, oh, 2 years being 2 years. What's new? But then I start seeing it on TV, but then I recognized it was a select few. It was the ones who were capitalizing off of that 2 year base, making money off of them, like the Achos and all the people who always was behind them. Then the mainstream picked it up as, is Tua an MVP candidate? And then the big wigs out there in the media start saying it. You know why? Because they don't watch the games anyway. They just looking at the stats in the record. They looking at the stats in the record. Most of these big-time guys on TV don't watch these games. Stephen A. don't watch all these games. What does he do? They say he an MVP candidate. Oh, hey, the yards up there. The team 8-3. Oh, okay, hey, why not? QB rating is high. How many times I got to tell y'all, do y'all know how QB rating is calculated? You know how passer rating and QBR is calculated? It's the most basic. It's the most basic of statistics. If I throw a 1-yard bubble screen that go for 99 versus the other guy that throws a 60-yard dime that go for 99, QBR look at them the same. QBR evaluates them the same. If I get 0 yards after the catch and put up 300 yards, and you get 15 yards after the catch, after every catch, and put up the same yards, QBR looks at it the same. I don't get yards after the catch. I'm just slinging it raw, 20 yarders at a time. You over there hitting 5-yarders in your Tyreek and Waddle, and I'm not saying that's the case in this. I'm giving you a comparison to QBR. They go get an extra 15, same QBR. Same QBR. There ain't no detail behind it. Yards, touchdowns, interceptions, turnovers. Factored together. This is why I'm so heavy on PFF. Because they actually evaluate the game, the difficulty, all of that. And he was high on PFF, don't get me wrong. He was high on PFF, but there were still some outliers that you see. And sure enough, this is what I don't understand about people with this quote-unquote MVP talk anyway. Let's be honest, y'all. In my opinion, MVP shouldn't be discussed until after week 13 anyway. MVP should never be discussed until after week 13 to begin with. It's ridiculous. Watch this. Name 5 quarterbacks. I want everybody in the comment section. Give me your top 5 quarterback MVP candidates right now. Watch this. Watch what I mean by that. Watch this. Give me your top 5 quarterback MVP candidates right now. And no, Tua ain't one of them, so don't waste the pick on him. Give me your non-Tua top 5. I ain't asked you the number 1. Give me 5 guys. 5 guys. That's 4. I want 5. I want 5. I'm forcing you to give me 5. Not 3, not 2, not 1. Give me 5. And I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show you something. All right. Everybody list. Watch this. Everybody's list. Watch this, y'all. On everybody's serious list, there are at least 2 or 3 guys that wasn't even in the conversation by week 10. On everybody list now that we're in week 17, there are 2 or 3 guys that were not even in the conversation at week 10. You want to know who those 2 or 3 guys are? If you got Burrow on your list, he wasn't even in the conversation. Week 9 and 10, everybody was still caught up on them 4 picks in the first game. Herbert wasn't in your conversation either. He ain't got no receivers and all that. He behind. The team ain't winning. And Josh Allen wasn't in it either because we were making fun. He was supposed to early in the season, but then he started losing games and start playing bad. Remember that little stretch? So if you got Burrow, Herbert, or Josh Allen in your top 5, there you have it. None of them were in the conversation in week 10. None of those guys were in the conversation week 10. And now all three of them are, including the ones who were always in, Mahomes and Hurts. Somebody said Purdy, but no. And then what was more insulting about it, not only did y'all have Tua in it, in like week 9, y'all had him in the conversation in week 9. The man had missed 3 games. He had only played 6 and y'all had him in the conversation. Somebody said maybe not in your conversation, TD. Yeah. I'm talking about the serious conversations. How could you have Josh Allen in your conversation when he had done laid 3 trash dud games? I was picking on him all on the round table. Josh Allen looked like trash. He turned the ball over. He this and that. Josh Allen had actually fell out of it and got himself back in. But the person who made the biggest climb was Burrow. He ain't going to win it, but I promise you he made the biggest climb. Second was Herbert. Because the level of difficulty for Herbert to get where they are now was harder than anybody in the league. Most injured team in the NFL. Defense, absolute trash. Whole offensive line is depleted, ranked in the 31st or 32nd any given week. All his wide receivers barely played together all season, always missing somebody. Busted ribs. All of these things were factored in for Herbert. Still clinched the playoffs with 3 weeks left. Well, 2 weeks left in the game. Clinched it before last Sunday. Week 15, clinched the playoff spot. 2 weeks left, don't even have to play him, even though they playing him. He made a big jump in the race, but he ain't gonna win it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a little bit low key for me. Mahomes is probably gonna win the MVP. Hurts had it all season for me, but you done missed too many games now. Hurts has only been surpassed for me because you done missed too many games at this point. Which is unfortunate because had he played and continued the trajectory the way he was, Hurts was going to win an MVP this year, y'all. But I feel like he's blown it and Mahomes has done enough to now take it and run away with it, especially if Mahomes win this weekend and secure the number 1 seed. You want to grab her? She knocked out. Mommy's here to get you.
Dang it.
Just lay her down. She'll go back to sleep. TD, what round would Tua go if we had a redraft? Late 4th? Late 4th? I mean, he is a quarterback. Let me stop. Mid-third. He is a quarterback. But again, that's a weird question. I mean, I'd rather answer it if the NFL was the restart right now. This is how I would answer it. If the NFL was to scratch everything and restart right now, and you had to draft your entire team, like, we ain't talk about 7 rounds, right? We ain't talk about 7 rounds. We're talking about 50-something rounds, 53 rounds, right? Because you got to draft the whole team. That's the best way to ask that question. If there was a 53-round draft and every player in the NFL was available right now, Tua would go. Tua would probably go in like the 15th round. He'd probably go in the 15th round. 25 teams will already have their quarterback. in the first 3 rounds. And they'll know he'll be there, so they'll keep on trying to get other good players. Whoever got him. Tua's the exact example of a quarterback how I do in my fantasy. If the top 3 quarterbacks I like ain't there in my fantasy team, I don't get a quarterback till like the 6th round. Because I go get instead of a 26 point a game guy I can't get, so I just go get me an 18 point a game guy like Tannehill. Later though. Ain't no need to pass up on the best running back just to say I got a quarterback now. It's that simple. You don't think Tua a top 25 QB? No, Stevie, I'm not saying he's not a top 25 QB, but you got to look at it like this upside. There are young quarterbacks who are unproven in this league, way more unproven than Tua right now. But some people feel like they got more upside. So they're going to pick them over Tua. When you know it, it's just like Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater right now is better than one of these first round picks. Like you know how you got Justin Fields and all of them, and you don't know how they're gonna be in the NFL. Teddy Bridgewater, you know what he is already. He a solid quarterback, and these guys ain't done nothing yet, but they'll take that upside over Teddy. Same with Tua. There are some quarterbacks you'll take the upside over Tua. Let me ask y'all a question. Is there any players in college right now coming out that you take over Tua? In the discussion. Y'all probably know 3 of them coming out this year you would take over Tua. In the discussion. Because there's also a whole bunch of guys you just don't know about. If we never saw Purdy this year, nobody would care about him and say, oh, they got a little scrub named Purdy. But now you done seen Purdy. Now let me ask you this question. If you were redrafting right now, would Purdy go off this is the perfect question for you. If everything was getting redrafted right now, would Purdy go off the board before Tua? Yes or no in the comment section. Would Purdy get drafted before Tua, knowing what we know now? Only 4 freaking games, and the answer is yes. Stop lying to yourself. You know the answer is yes. Only 4 freaking games, and the answer is yes. You know why? How many great games have Tua had this year? No, Purdy got 5 games now. Is it 5? How many great games have Tua had this year? Purdy already got more great games than Tua this year. That's what y'all need to come to realize. That's what you need to realize. Bro, he still wouldn't get a first round. I ain't say he would. I didn't say he would. He'd be drafted before Tua, though. If everything restarted now, and we saw Tua's rookie year, sophomore year, and this year, and you saw 4 games of Brock Purdy going off the board before Tua. I don't see Purdy out there having injury problems either. See, it's a lot that goes into that. It's tons that go into it. TD, what was Tua's best game for you? Dang, that's a tough question because are we factoring in level of difficulty? Are we factoring in level of difficulty? Give me a yes or no. Level of okay, put it like this. If we're not factoring in level of difficulty, Lions. It was an easy game, Wide open receivers. Nobody had a defender within 10 feet of him most of the game, just delivering the ball. It was easy. But believe it or not, y'all going to be shocked by this. Tua's best game this year, y'all are going to be blown away when I tell y'all this. Y'all going to be like, this guy done lost it. I'm out of here. But hear me out. And I know he was tripping in this game. I know Tua was tripping in this game, but it was his best game this year. The Green Bay Packers. I promise y'all, when I watched the film, Tua had me impressed. Outside of them 3 interceptions, man, it's like, what are you doing? But outside of that, I was impressed. I was really impressed. Think about it. If you take away the 3 interceptions, can you name one thing this man didn't do right? Like, I was blown away when I went and watched the All 22. I was just like, I was blown away. It's like he showed up and said, all right, I done. It's like he got an elixir, like, give me superpowers, and he performed it. And then at the end of the game, I'm out, coach. You get one. You get one. You get one. I'm telling you, you got to go watch the film. And we're not allowed to say that was his best game because he threw the 3 picks. I get it. I'm just telling you that on film, I saw Tua's best performance, if you take away those 3 interceptions, was the freaking Green Bay Packers, man. I am telling y'all. I saw throws and I'm like, woo, like ball placement is like, who are you? Who are you? I promise you. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. I am not trolling y'all. I just acknowledge those 3 picks did it for him. But if you go outside of those 3 picks, you name it where he messed up. You name where the ball placement was bad. You name where he was trash. You can't find it. Do you think Skylar has more upside than Purdy? I'm not sure. I got to see more of Skylar. I got to see more. Right now, no. But it is what it is. Y'all ain't got to listen to me. I'm not expecting you to listen to me. You asked me the question. I'm giving you the answer. I'm giving you my answer. I evaluate this man film on every single game. That's why I told y'all that second Buffalo game, he was not good. He had 2 deep, nice balls and 2 other nice passes. Outside of that, his ball placement was terrible for most of the game. And y'all out here, old Buffalo, he showed that he could do it. He could stick with it. That ain't what I'm looking for. I ain't looking for the 2 touchdowns and we competing. I'm looking for him to deliver a game where he's not the issue at all. And in that Buffalo game, his ball placement was horrible. We left a lot on the field because of his ball placement. But in Green Bay, that man ain't leave a penny on the field until them 3 picks. It was the first time that I would say, now that's a franchise quarterback. But you threw them 3 picks. You threw them 3 picks. You go back and watch that Green Bay film, and you take your hater cap off, and I promise you will appreciate the work he put in until them 3 picks. And it's funny, them 3 picks wiped it all out. Them 3 picks wiped it all out for him, just like that. Oh my God, that's the disgrace about it. How can you be so sharp and so good and just wipe it out in the same game? Oh, yes, TD, facts. I've seen the All 22. I was shocked. People don't watch film. Man, I don't care what none of y'all say. I ain't never seen better film on Tua than that Green Bay game. I ain't talking about no Lions where I'm talking about the defenders were right by the receivers and he putting it right on the money. I'll tell you, we ain't talking about no wide open Lions. We ain't talking about no wide open Bears. Ain't nobody talk about all the wide open Browns. Nobody care nothing about wide open receivers. Man, but when I saw that defense cranking up on our receivers in Green Bay and the passes he was making, man, I had a moment of humility, but then them 3 picks came. I said, yeah, that's the 2 I know. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all ain't gotta believe me, but if he ain't throw them 3 picks and we would have had to win, well, we would have won the game if he ain't throw the 3 picks. But if he wouldn't have threw them 3 picks and we'd have won, you would have saw a different tune by me. I'd have been like, listen, how he played today, that's franchise worthy. That's franchise worthy. If we can get a string of those, that's franchise worthy. And the sad thing is we would be in the playoffs right now. We wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't be in this situation. But sure enough, right on schedule, I knew something was wrong. 2 out here looking like this against tight coverage. I knew something was wrong, and there go them 3 picks. I was like, okay, now that makes sense. Yeah. Oh my God, boy. I'm telling y'all, this man got injected with something and it ran out in the middle of the 4th. He was like, I'm out, coach. You got to go out there. Okay. You get one. You get one. Oh, well, I'm going to try to get mine. No, you get. Oh, my gosh. I ain't going to lie. I was over it in that last pick because I'm sitting here. Y'all need to go watch my reaction on that last pick because I actually, it's for the first time. I don't usually laugh at myself. I don't laugh at myself on my reactions. Y'all think they funny, but I be dead serious. But this is the first time I actually laughed at my reaction. The only reason I laughed because I knew he fooled me. I was calling the play, right? And I'm like, all right, we finna go on this drive. You know when he backed the pass and he looked confident where he want to go and he fire it and it looked like it's going to be a shorter pass. And usually those guaranteed, let's move the rock. And when he cocked back, he threw the ball. I was like, Tua, back the pass, throws to the right, got him. All right, but oh no, the wrong guy. Like when he hit the man caught it so smooth, I thought it was our guy. I legitimately thought that we had a completion. So my reaction on that, I was dead serious. I was like, Tua back the pass, Tua throws, got him. Okay, no, it's the wrong one. You got the wrong one. It was legit. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, I thought we hit our receiver, clock ticking. All right, hurry up, y'all. I'm like, no, it was the wrong man. Oh my gosh, man. Oh. But it is what it is, man. But again, I urge y'all, if you ain't seen the All 22 film for the Green Bay game, that's the type of play you want to see from a quarterback on a consistent basis. And it's not like Tua hasn't given spurts of that type of play before, but he's never given consistency in that type of play. Never, ever, ever. Come on, mama. Come on, mama. Yeah. You see it? That beautiful smile. All right. You ready? All right. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Early dinner. Well, you be having like 4 dinners a night. Hungry self. Here you go. All right. TD, play the plays after the concussion. LOL. Play the plays after the concussion. It's speculation when he got the concussion. That's speculation when he got it. We all assuming this must have been the play. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to determine that was the play when this man was dropping dimes afterwards. The man was dropping straight dimes afterwards. Matter of fact, you're right. You might be right. I think I might actually have that film. I'm tripping. I might have that film loaded already. Give me a second. Let me go to downloads. I might have it. This might be it. Let me see. What are you talking about, mama? Yeah. Let me see. Give me a second. I'll find it. Yep, this was it. That was the play right there. Look how long he had this ball, y'all. Look how long we got this ball. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's the play right there. That's the play right there. That's the play right there. Now watch these dimes now. Watch some of these dimes. That's just great defense. Still found Waddle. Man, if you ain't never seen a dime like this, look at this, y'all. This is right after the quote-unquote concussion. Look at this dime. Look at this dime. Tight coverage. Just outside the window. Look at this. Over the defenders. Right on the money. You see that? Concussion. Man, y'all better get out of here with that craziness. Get out of here. Back to pass. Under pressure. Flips it. That's just pressure. That's just pressure. Next one. Dumps all to the flat. Everything fine. That's the right read. Back to pass. Rolls out. Pressure coming now. See, this when they started their pressure packages. He running for his life most of these plays. And he overthrew that one. This is the one where he got picked. That ain't because of no concussion. He threw it in quadruple coverage because he was going to that first read. And he overthrew it. Look at Tyreek. Jump, man. Couldn't even try to get it. It's just a bad throw. It's just a miss, man. Next play, fakes the handoff. Got all day, throws, hits his guy. And this one was impressive, y'all, because watch. This one was impressive. He going to Waddle. He can't hit him because the linebacker's getting depth, but he waited it out and then threw it at the perfect time. Ain't no concussion. I don't want to hear it. Next play. Throws across the middle. He understood that the guy was faking outside and was going to come back. Look at Sherfield. He ain't throwing it outside. He knows the route and all. He knows Sherfield going to stop and come back and hits him. That's designed that way. The play is designed to look like he going out and the defender over pursue, stop on the dime and come back. Concussion. Man, ain't no concussion was confirmed. I'll talk about that in a second. Back to pass, throws over the middle. Look at it. Look at this. Look at this dime. Just great defense. Man, let me back it up. Y'all got to see this one. Look at this dime. It's just great defense. This is great defense right here. Over the middle. Slight separation, but this is great defense. He put it right where it's supposed to be. It's just great defense. Ain't nothing you could do about that. He put it right on the money. But ain't nothing you could do about that. That's great defense. That's that man coverage. It gets tough. Look, oh my gosh. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. We can cuss, huh? Yeah. All them good throws and bam. There goes a mistake. There goes a mistake. Right here. Here comes a mistake. He throws. He trying to hit that seam. And the guy turns around late, but it don't matter because he's going to be picked off even if the running back was looking.
And it was coming straight to his guy, but they came underneath and got him. You tried to hit the seam on this. You tried to squeeze it into the seam. But when you look at the linebacker, it makes sense. The linebacker shifting over there the whole time. Pre-snap, the linebacker wasn't lined up there. Look at this. Pre-snap, it's the linebacker at the top of the hash. Him, he picks it off. Tua in this pre-snap, you ain't got to worry about him. You know why? Look at the receiver on the other side. You think that linebacker going to be following the other guy in the flat. But no, the safety is actually in coverage there. Tua didn't read that pre-snap either. Tua felt like Tua thought he didn't have to worry about that linebacker because look at the defensive end is coming. Waddle is uncovered if that's Waddle. Waddle is uncovered, so that linebacker's going to run out there with Waddle with safety help. But he don't know that the safety actually has Waddle with 12-yard cushion, which you wouldn't know. Who would think you're going to have him 12-yard cushion? Tua never worried about that linebacker. And since he never worried about it, it was the right read if you ain't worrying about him. He never saw the linebacker. And the linebacker came over and got him. He came and got him. Nice disguise, by the way, by the D. Look at this. He never sees it. Look at the replay. Look at this. This is pre-snap. He's looking over to the right. Let me go back just a tad bit so you see. Right here, look. He actually sees the linebacker bailing away from it right now. And then he turns his head so he doesn't know that the linebacker coming back. He looking, never even sees him. You can see it on this replay better than anything. He never even sees the linebacker. Watch this. He never even sees the linebacker. Look at him. Never even saw him. Ain't no concussion. I don't want to hear that. He never saw him. Back to pass. Look at this. In the flat. Hits his guy. But let me tell you about this play. This is the interesting one for me. Tua learned from this, but it got him in trouble. He had an option on this. You see the wide receiver at the bottom of the screen going on the go? When Tua gets ready to let this ball go, he sees the corner dropping off. Look at the corner dropping off. Tua sees that. Right there, Tua's like, ooh, the corner dropped off. Interesting. The corner dropped. Next time I see that, I'm going to take a shot. Because that's the type of coverage they running. Next time I see that, I'm going to take that shot on the sideline because the corner's dropping. That's the type of coverage they running. And look at the very next play. The very next play. What did he think? I got that over there because the corner has that flat and the corner just dropping. Got him. They dialed up. Let me tell you what they did. They dialed up a play. Mike McDaniel called this play because of the previous play. Mike McDaniel said we could get those posts because of the previous play. They're leaving it open. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. You got to lead this a little more to the sideline with a little bit more velocity, too. It just wasn't a great throw by Tua. And it's picked off. So I'm supposed to be sitting here. Concussion is why. Concussion is the reason. Concussion is the reason. Man, I don't want to hear it. Now, this notion that concussion was confirmed, that ain't telling me nothing. If I come into the building and I say, I don't remember this stuff happening, they're going to put you in the protocol. You could pass everything. They're going to say the only thing we could think is that you were concussed. And with his history already now, they're not taking no chances with Tua. We believe you were concussed. If you don't believe any of this, we believe you got a concussion somehow yesterday. You're now in the protocol. You had a concussion. Because what happens is you can see bruising on a CT scan. But sometimes you're not. It's just symptoms. They didn't say that they saw the bruising on his scanning or anything. They just said based off of all the information and his symptoms, they're diagnosing him with a concussion. And it's easy to diagnose you with something that you already had. Who thought he wasn't going to come out of that being diagnosed with concussion? Tua's in the protocol. Yeah, they're going to diagnose him with a concussion. He had one earlier this year. It's likely. So to be safe than sorry, we're going to treat you like you got a concussion regardless, because you might do. Okay, concussion protocol. But the bigger question is, why is it players clearing protocol in 6 days, the day before the game and playing, and Tua, his is always extended 2.5 weeks or 3? That's a better question to ask. Unless he's coming in there and having real bad symptoms and stuff and telling them, then if that's the case, then you got it worse than the norm. Something is wrong. You're not good. McDaniel told on Tua, yeah, that's what's funny too. You come in and some things weren't consistent, and he said he didn't remember, and he said, well, maybe you need to go see the doctor. Oh, you got a concussion. Yeah, it looked like a lot of people don't want to own the results that have been placed out there on the field. A lot of people don't want to own the results that's been placed out there on the field. Somebody said, look underneath on the same play. Oh, yeah. I wasn't trying to point out his flaws in the game. I wasn't trying to point out, what he didn't do well. Because trust me, we all know he left wide open receivers on them on the last plays. We all know that last play, just embarrassment. Two guys underneath. Even that back end, and it's funny. Look at the defense that they're running. Look at the defense they running. 3 high, 4 at the. Look at the defense they running. They scream and throw it underneath. And the crazy thing is, this didn't require, this play didn't require a big gain. You needed 8 yards. And you got it on both of them. I'll do you one better, even the top of the screen by the 45, the end, the dig. Yeah, just imagine they're in prevent when you got 6 yards to go. And we got time on the clock. It wasn't 10 seconds left. We got time on the clock. Piece at a time, keep moving. It is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, I thought Tua had an exceptional game other than them 3 picks. And you see the first pick, he just overthrew it. The second pick, he never saw the linebacker. And the third pick, I'm telling you, McDaniel dialed that up because they were leaving that open, but Green Bay changed the play on the next play. They changed it on the next play. This is a total different defense. They changed it than that first one. The guy actually, it ain't a different defense. It's the same one. It's just that the corner played it great. He actually reading his assignment and reading Tua very well. It's the exact same defense. Look, this is the play before the pick. 3 high prevent. All these guys at the sticks. On this play, he dropped back. On the play before, he dropped down low. He playing his assignment. That's textbook defense. And we got sucked into it. I knew something was wrong anyway because he was going to Gesicki, so it wasn't meant to be anyway. Y'all don't know how to use that man. No, sir. Go clean your face. Clean your face. You got mac and cheese on it. I remember that day. I said, Tua not going to let me down. Hey,
Let me tell y'all something. I was sitting there. Listen, the sage is set. You done threw 2 picks, but you got a chance to come back and get it right here. Let's go. And boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Can Skylar beat the Jets? Skylar can beat the Jets, y'all. He prepares, he can beat the Jets. The issue I have now, though, is what version of this offensive line will we get with Skylar? Will the O-line protect? Will Armstead play? Will it? We shall see. Yeah. We shall see. The stats actually support TD as well. 8-12 before the hit, 7-13 after. It ain't far off. That's one throw off. That's one throw off. It makes no sense. People like, that's a total different quarterback I saw. No, Green Bay just changed what they were doing. That's it. Yeah. Take away the deep shot. The yards per catch is almost equal. Interesting. It was all the same, man. But it is what it is. Anyway, y'all, we've been going strong. Hold on, Carter. Hold on. We've been going strong for 2 hours. It's time to get out of here, go love on baby girl a little bit. But we do have the AFC East roundtable tonight. 7:40. Y'all please come by, show your love and support. We're doing a special show. We want to make sure that we have a good conversation tonight. I'll just put it like that. You still ain't washed your face. Go wash your face, Carter. So tonight, 7:40, come to the AFC's roundtable. Join the show, and let's all congregate as an AFC East, all right? Because at the end of the day, we hate Buffalo, we hate all them teams, but we got a fallen brother right now that we want to help get up, and we all gonna show our love and support, all right? Love y'all, appreciate y'all. I will see y'all in a little bit. Peace. Your boy TD is out. Love y'all, man.